JuliAnne Murphy here with LaPuraVidaCostaRica.com and courtesy of South Pacific Costa Rica Real Estate. And you're joining us for edition 8 of luxury living in Costa Rica, specifically South Pacific Costa Rica. And today we're actually at an attached and detached living complex, luxury complex on the mountainside above San Martin Beach, in between Dominical and Uvita, Costa Rica, South Pacific Costa Rica. And a special thanks to our exclusive development partner, who is the most exclusive developer in the region, and we feel very fortunate to work with them. So thank you to them. Really want to talk in this segment about windows and about the kind of window systems that you can expect in the current marketplace here, and why they're important to tropical living, specifically when you buy a luxury product. There are a lot of different options, of course, out there. This particular one I'm really crazy about because they are low E, which in other more developed countries is pretty typical, depending on if you're in a master planned community or a more newly built type of environment. But in Costa Rica, unfortunately, more sustainable products like that low E windows, double pane, are not necessarily the norm. These do have the gas inside them. I'm probably not saying the technical terms correctly. You can look for that specifically at the listing at the bottom of this. But I think it's important because in this environment of the tropics, the ideal for anyone, especially purchasing a luxury home at this level, these homes start in around $750,000 and go up. Two bedroom, 2.5 bath, or 3 bedroom, 3.5 bath. You're going to want to save as much electrical cost as possible. Why is that even more important in a luxury living neighborhood or system here in Costa Rica? And the reason that is even more important than in other more developed nations is that generally electricity here costs 3 times what it does in the States. I can't speak to Canada, but I know in the US it's 3 times the cost. So when you have a luxury home or a villa and you're wanting to have a lot of air conditioning during the day, and this home actually does have recessed central air conditioning throughout the living spaces of the home, you are going to pay a lot more if you keep it on 24/7, which is why your window systems are important. If you're going to be using AC all the time, which often if you have a luxury home, there are certain parts of it that you want to keep air conditioned all the time, you're going to want to have the best windows possible to cut down on those electricity costs. These alone, the low E with the gas in them, double pane, cut down 60% of your heating and your cooling. Now, obviously you don't heat here. That's not possible. These actually look down, and I'll show you the view in a moment, look down on the beach here at San Martin. But it's really important, and these are questions, these are things, the topic of windows and how much it impacts your electricity bill is something we do think about in the States and in Europe and other places. But sometimes when people come to Costa Rica and they're buying a luxury home, they forget to ask those questions. Unless the developer, like this one, is a very high-end one and already has put thought and money and time into designing and providing that as part of their end product. Frankly, it's not common here. I just want to be upfront about that. Not even double pane is common. Because in our area, which is more rural and rustic for the most part, you may not necessarily need it, but it really does impact your electricity cost, and that's a big consideration for when you're purchasing, whether it's a small luxury home, a mid-sized, or all the way up to a mansion. It's definitely something to consider. So that is edition 8 of Luxury Living in Costa Rica. Let me take you over. It's a special treat to see the view here. This again is a detached home, but in an urban environment. You're going to look out to your own private pool and looking down to the beach below. Isn't that fantastic? Wow, beautiful. Let's see if I can open the door and we can go out. Maybe we can even hear the birds. Yeah, you can hear some aracari back there. There it is. Call of the jungle. Thanks so much for joining me, and see you soon. Those websites again, lapuravitacostarica.com, Expat Living in Costa Rica, that's my blog, and our boutique real estate firm here just south of Uvita, South Pacific Costa Rica Real Estate, and the website is CostaRicaPacificRealEstate.com.